guys! Today we're going to do a little teeny tiny details painting. So I'm going to use this tiny one, the 2-aught grabby round. And I'm going to use, of course, my tried and true number 3 and the number 1. And I never use a large brush for this whole painting because you can see there's just a lot of little tiny details. I didn't do a big background or anything. And of course I'm going to use my favorite palette that you can see is well loved, and I kind of need a new one. Some of the colors are down to the bottom of the pan. And then for the white pops of highlight, I'm going to use my white Posca pen. Yeah. So here we go. I sketched it out, and for this strawberry, it really is, I'm looking at this reference photo, and it really is dropping down paint exactly what you see and kind of trusting the process. So I'm putting down the lightest color that I see. So see on the red part of the strawberry where I picked up and it's just very light. That's the lightest, and then once that coat dries, I can go in and add the details. So I put the background in of the little scone, and it's the same scone, and this is the same cookie reference as my last painting when I painted the teacup and all of that. But I just wanted to do another little compilation of sweet treats that maybe would be left for Santa, or this could also be turned into an invitation for a tea party or just a little gathering. Yeah. So I am doing a lot of what I did with the last painting, and I have to say that what sort of prompted me to do a similar theme is because in the last video, I don't know if you guys saw the last video, but in the last video, my camera settings were a little strange. So everything, kind of came out yellow, and it was just sort of blown out, and I was just bothered. So, I didn't want to delete the video, but I wanted to give another, maybe better quality video of me painting these sweet treats because I just like them so much. So I'm using the same reference photo, and I'm literally just painting what I see. And this time around, I really had to look at the reference photo for the strawberry because it's new. But for these other ones, I was just doing the same thing that I remember doing. So now, see how there's darker, the chocolate is darker in the shadowed areas where the light's not hitting. So I'm just trying to really recreate exactly what I'm seeing. And this is like the little pool of chocolate that has sort of melted down. So, and then I'm seeing these little bumps that are shiny. So I'm going to go in, and then after that coat dries, I'm going to go in and put the little seeds. And I'm trying to put just a very light color in the sort of vanilla part of this little treat. And as that dries, then I can add to it. And I've got to tilt my camera because I am painting this little peppermint stick that's coming out of the frosting here, but you can only see part of it. I'm failing. Failing miserably. Sometimes I get, so right here, I'm using the Posca pen to put in those seeds. I'm not going to leave them white. I'm going to put that sort of yellowy, caramelly color of the seeds over that, but I need that white to dry. And I'm using the Posca white to try to draw in the glass that this back swirly treat is in. I'm kind of trying to create the illusion that it's inside a clear glass like little cup. And then I'm just adding some dark to this tree in the back that doesn't really have a reference photo. I just was like, oh, this would be cute. And so now we're back to the strawberry. So I'm just trying to copy what I see. And I saw the little dark and the shadows around the little things. And then I thought, oh, they're not as detailed down in the shadow. So I just sort of, now I'm putting that, that yellow over, and I'm darkening up this shadow or this highlight area because I thought it was maybe too much of a contrast. But then later you'll see that I add that light, sort of shimmery light back in. So I'm putting the bottom of the little scone crisp in and letting that dry. I'm just adding little something on the edges to make this look more round. And now I'm adding in that reflection, that light reflection on the tip of the strawberry and throughout the swirl in here. Isn't it fun to paint something that looks like such a fun, sweet treat that would be at a party? And now I went in with black in the darkest areas of that chocolate, just to really give it some dimension and really look like a shadow. And I'm layering in some different greens because in the reference photo, oh, there we go. There we go. Sorry. In the reference photo, there are just lots of different greens in those leaves. So I'm just trying to pick up some of the color there in the chocolate. And add some highlights to the leaves. I just noticed that I obviously stopped recording to take a break and get a glass of water or something, and then didn't press record before painting the plate that it's on. It just appeared out of nowhere. I apologize for that. So just so you know, this plate that the goodies are on, this is hilarious. If you notice, I sort of like paused when I was talking. I was like, where did the plate come from? Because I'm watching this back on a fast forward speed. That's hilarious. So the plate that this is on is the same color that I use when I'm trying to paint gold. It's the base color that I use to paint gold. So it's the color that I used up on this guy's crown, this nutcracker's crown. Now, this nutcracker doesn't have this pink color on the shoulders, but I just love pink. And whenever I can add in pink, you gotta believe I'm going to, because I love it. And I used the sparkly pink, so I love two parts of it. I love the sparkle and I love the pink. And I'm just carving in the nose and the hands and some more pink in his shirt. And I decided after the fact to add this little nutcracker because I had finished the sweet treats and I just like, it needs something. And I wanted this to be sort of a sort of a gift for Santa. So this little nutcracker is holding the For Santa sign. I ultimately, after I was all finished, I took some water on a brush and I scrubbed off the For Santa. I don't think I kept that part in the video, but I ended up scrubbing off the words because I wanted to be able to use it as an invitation and write the invitees' names on each one if I printed multiple ones. So the fun thing about trying to make the metallic look of this crown is that you can look at your reference photo and you can see that there's that light gold color, but also where the shine is not, I guess, that metal really absorbs a dark color. So you can add that, the dark and the light, and it really does create sort of a metallic look. And I tried to do that with his little staff that he's holding. I was trying to make it like a shiny green metal. So that's what. And then instead of using white paint to highlight his hair, I decided to just do the shadows so it sort of looks like he's got white hair, but really I just painted in the shadow. So here I'm painting in For Santa, but I did ultimately decide to scrub that off, but it can stay in for now. And now the teeth. You guys, there's always something, right? There's always something about a painting. There's one part that I end up doing and redoing and redoing. And for this painting, what I ended up redoing the most was the teeth. I was like, it's not, like I'm not able to get 4 teeth wide, and 3 teeth seemed strange. So I ended up making his mouth wider, and I had to let that dry. And then I could fit 4 teeth across in the top and the bottom. And it just looked better. Oh, there they are. I'm telling you guys, sometimes I forget to press record because I don't just sit down and paint this entire thing really fast like this. I'll get up and, have lunch or something. And then unfortunately, some things get painted off camera, and I apologize for that. But I just love nutcrackers, and I'm so excited that it's sort of nutcracker season. I foresee me painting more nutcrackers. In fact, maybe we should do a live painting of nutcrackers. How cool would that be? And I decided to add little holly berries there. Oh, look, I scrubbed it off. And the Santa vanished because I'm going to hopefully print these as invitations. Hilarious. So now I've got to sign it. And I'm deciding how thin the paint pen, and I'm going to use a real thin paint pen to sign Sara Lynn. And I'm just thrilled with the way that it turned out. Thanks for joining me. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love it if you did. It would fill my heart with joy. I'll see you next time.